Hello, my friends. I'm back again with some more juicy stories and, of course, my insights on them. Today's first story is about an evil mother-in-law who threatens to sue OP because she was left with almost nothing in her husband's will. Well, I guess she should have treated everyone better. Karma is a thing, you know. As they say, a boomerang returns to the person that throws it. Listen till the end of the story to find out what I think about the situation. Enjoy the stories, guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. I'm a 32 female with 2 kids. I'm one of 3 kids my father shared with my mother. My mother passed away when I was 10. My father remarried to a woman named Carol when I was 14. She had 2 kids from a previous marriage. She and my father had no kids. She tried to get my father to adopt her children, but their father wouldn't relinquish his rights, and my father respected that. Carol has never liked me, and the feeling is mutual, simply because she came in trying to erase my mother's existence in this house. Like us celebrating my mother on her birthday every year, or visiting her grave on Mother's Day. She would purposefully try to overtake the day and have us do something else. It didn't work. Her next objective was trying to get my father to cover a mural tattoo of my mother that was on his arm. Didn't work neither. She tried taking heirloom jewelry that belonged to my mother. She deliberately went into my father's safe and removed the jewelry without his knowledge. Just so happens, I noticed a necklace on her daughter's neck that belonged to my great-great-grandmother, and Carol had the audacity to be wearing one of my mother's rings. That alone resulted in a big argument. When that wasn't enough, she tried taking down every picture of my mother in our home, replacing it with her family. I ended up throwing her pictures in the garbage. It was wrong, and I apologized. About 4 years ago, my father's health took an unexpected turn. We bumped heads simply because my father has me named as his power of attorney of finance and medical, which she was unaware of. During this time, I moved back home to help care for my father. It was more of me caring for him. There was a very bad falling out with us about my father, because I had to leave him for a few days because my child had to have a mandatory surgery, and my siblings couldn't make it into town. I explained to her that it was imperative that he had to be turned ever so often, or he could get bed sores that can lead to infection and even possibly be fatal. She didn't do it, and my father developed a light sore, and he also had a bum rash. Our argument was so bad that she tried to have me kicked out. She called the cops and all because I refused to leave. I should have filed elderly aggression charges against her, but my father begged me not to. From that day forward, I had home health aides and nurses helping me, despite her trying to block them. My father passed away recently. I overheard her and her family discussing what they were going to take. Once the will was obtained, her feelings were hurt. Besides her vehicle, joint bank account, clothes, and jewelry, it was the only thing she's going to receive. Where we live, assets acquired before marriage are separate from marital property. I kicked her out. Yes, she was served properly. She's now threatening to sue me because she thinks I doctored the will and claims she's homeless. Am I the a-hole? Well, OP's stepmother sounds absolutely horrible. I really don't understand how men marry such women. But despite that, it sounds like he stood his ground on a lot of things though. Well, and OP definitely is not in the wrong here for kicking her out. She didn't even bother to care for her husband while he was on his deathbed. What do you think, guys? Do you agree with me? And let's see if the community agrees with me. SAR27 says, not the a-hole. You are grieving right now, and honestly, don't need to deal with her BS on top of it, especially with the way she disrespected your mother growing up. If your father wanted her to have anything else, he would have given her the matrimonial home. He chose not to, rightfully so. You did not do anything wrong. You even gave her proper service way in advance. Let her get a lawyer and try. You did not doctor the will. I do recommend you find a good lawyer to fight back, but in the meantime, please stand your ground. And don't let this nightmare of a woman guilt-trip you. Scorchy Song says, not the a-hole. Lady Tremaine didn't care about her husband enough to look after him for a few days. That your father named you, and not her with his power of attorney. For those who don't know, it's full legal rights to act on behalf of someone. Shows who he trusted more. Her actions in his illness do worryingly suggest a Black Widow aspect, as she tried to block health aides and home nurses. If there's official record of this, testimony from them, this could support a case against her, but I'm not a lawyer, so please consult an actual lawyer on this. Affectionate Cable 793 says, not the a-hole. Paperwork seems to be in the up and up. They can't really say that your dad was too out of it that he was coerced regarding his will. I mean, he was able to convince you not to file charges against her when she neglected him. That's a good sign of being mentally present. I, 43 female, have a 22, Sam, and 14, Kathy, daughters. Our family was dirt poor as Sam was growing up. It was a bad time overall. We knew something needed to change when Sam was 8, so I went to college at night. We could only afford a few classes a semester, so it took longer than 4 years. I finally graduated when Sam was 14, but we were still poor even with the new much better job due to debt. When she was 18, it finally got a lot better. I got really lucky and ended up in a high-demand field. We went from struggle for food on the table to could go on vacation twice a year without problems. Kathy was 10 when we were much more stable, so her and Sam's childhoods are a lot different. Kathy can go to a nice school, while Sam's school was a crap inner-city public school. I don't have to buy from thrift stores anymore. She has an iPhone and so on. Now, I pay for Sam to go to college without any debt, and she comes on all family vacations free, pay her apartment rent, and so on. The problem is, Sam is so jealous of her sister. The school is taking people on a trip to DC, and that's where all of this came to a head. Sam yelled at her sister about how she is a spoiled brat, and told me I should treat her the same way she was growing up. That she should get hand-me-down clothes and have to go to a crap school. We got in a bigger argument about how she believes I should be poor to her sister. I told her if she wants us to be poor so much, then she can pay her own rent from now on. She called me a jerk when she realized I was serious. She went to our aunts and they are on her side. Am I the a-hole? Well, there was a lot of judgmental comments, guys, and I personally really don't understand those people so aggressively criticizing OP for not providing better for the oldest child. Looks like some people seem to think that it's so easy and fast to climb out of poverty. I'm sure it took a lot of courage and sacrifice to go back to school while raising children, and while it sucks Sam didn't get the childhood she deserved, wanting to spread that pain to her sister makes her an a-hole. It's the way of life that children are raised differently when there are age gaps. Looks like by the time OP was able to enact the changes that would lead to an improved life for the whole family, the benefit would be felt most by the youngest. It is what it is. Getting financially stable takes time. Let me know your thoughts, guys, and let's see the community's opinion. Virtual Volume 8826 says, "It took you 8 years to realize you need more money for your child? Then took you until she was an adult to actually achieve that. Now she sees the sibling being treated to all the things she didn't get because you finally did something about your situation. Of course she's jealous. I know this is going to be unpopular, but you're the a-hole. Your kids have lived 2 entirely different lives. The least you could do is try to make it up to your oldest. Again, it took you until she was an adult to be financially stable. You should have started working on that before she was even born. The fact that it took you 8 years to realize something needed to be done is ducked up. You didn't say you were working on it the whole time. You didn't say you were desperately trying. You said that it was when she was 8 that you knew something needed to change. Took you 8 years to realize that? Sam doesn't want Kathy to grow up poor. She just wants there to be more equity. Put yourself in her shoes. I feel bad for her. She gets to watch her little sister get everything while she was raised with scraps, all for her parents to turn around and not even help her because of justifiable jealousy. Sad. Beth's Mom 05 says, "You're the a-hole because you're failing to realize how badly your oldest daughter's childhood hurt her. Yes, you're helping her now, but that doesn't undo the damage already done. Keep doing what you're doing that benefits each girl. Family therapy would be a huge benefit for everyone." Perfect Pomelo 38 says, "You're the a-hole. You decided that it was time for a change once Kathy was born, and you worked to give her a better life. Sam had a crappy childhood, but you're giving Kathy a much better one, and can't see how ducked up that is?" L875 says, "She's hurt because you couldn't give the best childhood to her, but you could to her sister. And although I understand your situation, 'cause, well, that's life, should understand her emotions too. She was a child and life wasn't fair to her. Obviously, taking it out on the younger sister or making her poor isn't the solution. But cutting the help you give her will reinforce the negative thoughts she has about you and your daughter, and will damage your relationship forever. She probably thinks you love her sister more or something like that. You could try going to therapy with her. It will be good for you too." So, my ex-wife and I have been divorced since December, but since then, she's lived in my house. In the divorce, I was awarded it 100%, and she signed a quitclaim and everything, without paying rent, utilities, or anything. We have 50-50 custody, and I pay child support. When she is here, she just sleeps and plays with her phone. I cook, clean, I help my kid with homework, etc. I've been bugging her to move out for a few months now. In May, she decided to go on vacation, by herself, for what was supposed to be less than 2 weeks. Me and my kid are at home, having a good time, but then the day she's supposed to come back rolls around, and she's a no-show. Then a few more days. During this time, she's messaged her daughter once, me never, and her mom is calling me to find out where she is. I eventually got a hold of her, and she says she'll be home late the next day. Well, that day rolls around, and she's a no-show again. At this point, I'm just tired of her immaturity, and I phone her mom and dad and tell them they need to come load up and move everything that's hers out of my house and move it to either a storage unit or their house. Well, eventually, she decides to grace us with her presence after nearly 4 weeks of being gone. At this point, I had to cancel things I had planned, and all her stuff has been relocated to her parents' place. She loses her crap, understandably, and says I'm aggressive and had no right to have her stuff moved. Eventually, she calls her parents and gets a ride to their house. I don't appreciate my home being used as free storage for someone ungrateful like her, and I don't think her vacation was fair to me, her daughter, or her family. Adults with kids just don't take month-long trips alone because they feel like it. Basically, am I the a-hole? Edit. To answer some frequently stated things. Yes, I know she's not alone. She's with friends and a new partner who lives a few states away. The reason she lived here was because I would give her 6 months to figure her living situation out and time for her partner to move here because she can't afford to live alone. My locks have been changed. I spoke to a lawyer about having her stuff moved, and it's not illegal here, and since she paid nothing and didn't have a lease, she wasn't a tenant. I'm going to be speaking to a lawyer about modifying custody and child support. Maybe I let her use me, but 50-50, keeping the house, and no alimony, was a fair trade for dealing with her for a few more months at the time. I had to pay child support with 50-50 because I make drastically more money than her. I asked her parents to help pick up the stuff because I can't move a couch, bed frame, and enough boxes to fill up a 10x10 storage unit by myself. I was probably too nice to her, but all I cared about was not harming my relationship with my daughter. I didn't want her to think less of me for evicting her mom. Well, I think OP needs to stop being a pushover. In my opinion, OP's wife has absolutely no right to be upset. She decided as a grown woman to play mind games. So, as they say, play stupid power games, win stupid prizes. Let's see if the community agrees with me. Biscotti Lonely 8913 says, not the a-hole. Honestly, feels like you are still being too nice. She's had half a year to move out. She's taking advantage of you. Not paying anything, but does go on a vacation. Has 50% custody, but is not doing anything for or with her daughter. Is irresponsible. She had it coming. Wonder if you can't get 100% custody if she keeps this up. Doesn't sound like she's interested in being a good mother. MDD Gad ASD says, not the a-hole. She lived off of you. You paid child support while your kid had everything they needed and didn't leave your home. She then took a month-long vacation, using the child support, and acts like you're the bad guy. What the duck? Jazzy's 010 Cup says, not the a-hole. Responsible adults make their plans known, and responsible, caring parents don't disappear on their kids. While you all knew she was going on a trip, she indicated the duration and then didn't come back for weeks after she was due. That's unnecessary stress for everyone, including the child. If she's really not doing anything for her kid and acting like this, I think it's time to speak with your attorney about sole custody. Also, see about changing the locks if you haven't already. Your attorney should be able to tell you if you're allowed to just do that on your own, or if you have to formally evict her. I, 37, work at a fly-in, fly-out camp. I also make really good money. I earn roughly 3 times the national American average, which is great because it means I'll be able to afford a life. My sister, 24, lives at my parents' house with her boyfriend while they go to college. She got pregnant, and it's time for a baby shower. I was talking with my dad about it and asked him to remind my sister of my schedule because I wanted to attend. My stepmom heard and said the day wasn't about me and to not try and control things, so I dropped it. When I got the invitation, I was in the middle of one of my shifts, so I called my sister and asked her what the most important thing she wanted was. She mentioned a stroller that costs about $1,000. I said to take it off her registry because I would buy it, since I wanted her to have the best for my niece or nephew, and I wasn't going to attend the party. She asked me why I wasn't coming, and I said that I would be working. She said that I should have told her so she could plan for me to be there. I said that her mom had said not to try and control anything or make the day about me. Now my dad is calling me saying that I started a fight because my sister is pissed at her mom for me not being at the party. My stepmom also called me and asked me to take time off work to attend. For me to do so, I would have to skip a shift, so I would lose 14 days of pay. That is $7,000 minimum coming out of my budget. I said not just no, but duck no. She tried to insist, so I asked to speak with them the next time I was home. We sat down and I showed them my pay stubs. I said that is what I would be losing if I come to the party. I said that if it was really important to them that I be there, I would, but that they had to make up for my lost income. I gave them the choice of $7,000 cash or $6,000, and they buy the stroller she wants and has already been marked as purchased on her registry. They are pissed at me now for expecting me to be paid to attend a party. I said that all it would have taken was her not interfering in a conversation between myself and my father. He could have reminded my sister of my schedule, and if she really wanted me there, she could have scheduled it for a week I was home. Am I the a-hole? I personally don't think OP is in the wrong here. Looks like just another evil stepmother situation. If she hadn't gotten in the middle of a conversation, this mess could have been avoided. If it was really important to OP's sister that OP be there, then she would have scheduled the baby shower during OP's time off work. And let's see the community's opinion on the situation. Red Band Trout says, not the a-hole. Stepmom clearly didn't want you there, made sure you didn't verify with your sister about the date, and got caught with her hand in the cookie jar. Play crappy games, win crappy prizes. TravelCat67 says, not the a-hole, because I don't think you actually expect them to pay you, but you had to make this point clear. Stepmom messed up. Buy the stroller, don't attend, and then next time you can come visit, have a special day with your sister. Medieval Hag says, not the a-hole. You asked to be considered when making arrangements, and the message wasn't passed on. By your wording, it sounds like sister's mom isn't your mom. Sounds like she just didn't want you there in my opinion. That's a lot of money to give up for just a baby shower.